And race fans, welcome to Lugnut TV. Tonight, Richmond International Raceway will get abused by the Bump and Run Late Model Series.
Ooh.
150 laps tonight for these drivers with these machines. I was on track earlier, definitely a little bit slick out there. Be interested to see how things play out. Before we go to the grid and check out the starting lineup, we're going to celebrate America and thank our troops with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. And welcome back. Qualifying wrapped up here this evening. Good welcome back to Jason Covington getting the Over the Top Paints Pole Award winner. Starting on the pole tonight to his outside, Dustin Lee. Starting third, we have James Lehman in that Army machine. Good looking ride there. Mitchell Reeves to his outside, finishing out row two. Starting fifth, we have the Georgia Flash. Rough time out last time in the bump and run season. Hopefully tonight's a better night for Nick Reynolds. Charles Lahr in that 41 machine to his outside in the sixth position. Starting seventh, Wesley Whitefield in number 74. Michael Jeans, our current points leader, way back in row four in eighth position. The elder Craig Covington, starting ninth. Alan Manning, starting 10th. Mr. Breeze. Cold Beer, Zach Coyer in 11th. And way out back in the last starting spot, Brian Bizzell. Brian, what do you think the chances are of going green tonight?
Of going green? I think we're going to start the race in just a moment, Bob. I'm feeling pretty confident about that.
All right. I meant the whole race.
Oh, the whole race? Yeah, we'll see about that. We will see about that. I'm just excited to be back up here in the booth with you. I heard you did a great job last night. Thanks for covering.
Piece of cake. It was a lot of fun. Good truck race last night at Phoenix. Saw a lot of ups and downs and a lot of excitement. Craig Covington actually brought the 96 machine to victory lane at Phoenix in our TNT truck series. And you can catch a replay of that race on our YouTube channel, Lugnut TV, of course. Field just getting ready to roll away here. I think it's 2 pace laps here at Richmond.
Hey, Bob, let's just take a second to thank RaceGear.com for sponsoring this race. Also, Over the Top Paints and Designs, Billy Wise and the Wise Guys, and also BowtieApparel.com.
Yes, a lot of great folks associated with all those groups, and always thank them for the support of Lugnut TV and Loose Lugnuts Racing. Tonight's race, 150 laps around this 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. Richmond, they call it a short track, but it really does race like a speedway. These machines will be carrying a lot of speed around this facility tonight. The work I did in practice earlier, machines were fighting grip. In particular, going into the corners, like to get free. Looked like about 54 to 58 laps on the fuel window, so this will definitely be a two-stop race if it were to go green the entire way. This time by, the lights will get turned off on the iRacing Mustang, and we will be ready to get after it.
Yeah, Bob, if you want to take a look at my take, I think we're going to have a number of cautions tonight. I know coming out of 2, very loose, especially once those tires start wearing. And also I'm hearing out of 4, a little tight, loose kind of combination there. So we'll probably see a number of yellow flags until we thin out the herd a little bit, I think.
Yes, definitely saw a lot of guys having some challenges in practice with the grip level here. Richmond, it's been nasty to loose lug that series that have run there recently. Definitely fighting grip. Recently we had a truck race here. We had that same issue. And we have Jason Covington, that is, making his return to the series. Dustin Lee will lead him down for the green flag. And off the run series is away. Jason Covington just a little bit slow off the line. It's a drag race down into 1 into Dustin Lee. And that battle for the lead still being contested off of the turn 3. Dustin Lee rim riding the machine up on the high side, not doing too badly with it. Gets a lot of momentum out of turn 4 that time. Well, actually challenge for the lead down on the inside into 1.
Yeah, Dustin Lee's wasting no time trying to get out front tonight. A little contact with Covington as they come out of 2.
It's a little incidental short track racing right there. This battle for lead still being contested. Now Jason Covington with the momentum out of turn 4 keeps him pinned down into 1. Does yield the lead. We have a car that just got loose. Looks like the Lehman machine went up the bank and missed the wall though. But loses 2 or 3 spots in the process.
Let's see, it appears as if he's fallen back into 6th position there, Bob.
Yes. Yeah, there's your backup, though. Key to that was no contact with the wall.
Oh, there's one going around.
Look, 10 machine is around at it, too. Gets free, loops to come around. That will bring out the night's first caution. Tough break. But to take a look at that, I don't think there was any contact. Looked like he just lost rear grip of the machine.
All right, yeah, Bob, I got the replay going right here. Oh, we're going to go back a little further. Yeah, he just lost exactly what you said. He lost it going into 2 there and just spun it out. Didn't hit anything or anyone. Able to get it back going the right direction almost immediately. But he's going to lose a whole lot of track position all the way back to 12th spot there.
Yeah, definitely loses a lot of track position. While you guys were watching Brian's replay, I was watching on my screen as well. And that actually started in turn 1, Brian. He was actually free going in. It was a wreck that took a while to happen, you could say. But no damage to that 10 machine, and he's back underway.
So we got one taker, the 96 machine, 98.
Yes, looks like, and Jason Covington will also visit the pit area as well. Early service for these 2 machines. I believe that's Rachel Reeves actually in the pits, isn't it?
I believe so, Bob. I was using this opportunity to take a sip out of my cocktail.
Oh, Michael Jeans. There I go. Getting these guys mixed up already again. Michael Jeans and Jason Covington are left in the pit here on this lap 6 caution.
Sounds like you've already had too many sips from your cocktail, Bob.
No, sir. Yeah, it looks like both machines, we put on 4 brand new tires and getting back under action. Yep, and that means I said the A word, so I got a drink.
Oh, sounds good. I think everyone at home should take a sip too. Delicious. Bob, in preparation for tonight's race, I'm wearing a breathe rate strip over my nose so I sound less nasally, and I've had a 5-hour energy drink to keep the energy up and not yawn into the microphone. And I've matched that with a couple of Captain and Cokes. So we are set and ready to go for this evening.
I believe that's some of the same stuff that Daryl Waltrip does. They just put makeup over his freeze-dried strip because he's on TV. Gotta wonder exactly how much hair dye they put in that old guy. Way too old to have hair that isn't gray or white. Kind of reminds me of why I hate Darrell Waltrip. Being here in Richmond, looking back at an old race in the mid-'80s, a last lap battle with him and the great one, Dale Earnhardt Sr., both the guys wrecking going into turn 3, and it was from that day forward I decided that I was not a Darrell Waltrip fan. I think that was 84 or 5.
Hey, while we're killing time here, I got Michael Jeans back down pit road as if he was
Oh, that's interesting.
pitting to maybe fix some more damage. So I didn't.
Yeah,
It didn't appear that he had any damage, but yeah, something's up where he's pitted a number of times now.
yeah, he's got to be fitting to fix damage. That's the only reason why you'd make another stop after putting 4 tires on. He is back on the way and rejoining the field at the end. Or maybe he has some other strategy we don't know about.
He may have had to use the bathroom. I know I get pretty excited before these races too.
Yeah. Yes, that's a pretty quick trip to the bathroom to get that done on a pit stop and back in the car and underway. Lights are off on the Mustang. Dustin Lee and Mitchell Reeves will be in the front row. The 2 Southeast Motorsports drivers will be taking us back under the green flag action to begin lap 10 and the early stages here of this Bump and Run Series race. And they are back underway. And nice jump there for Dustin Lee.
That jump was so good, the cameraman almost missed it.
Yes, I had to switch. I had to switch on my side so I could get a better view at it too. Pulls out to a nice car length lead as they head off into turn 3.
Yeah, nice single file up front this time. There's no side-by-side activities going through.
Yes, a little bit tamer. We do have a little bit further back in the pack. We do have a few battles brewing.
Taking a closer look at Jason Covington in that all black colored car. He's up to 9th spot after making that pit stop, so he's on the fresh tires and wasting no time getting around some of these guys.
Yeah, so it looks like he just worked his way around Charles Lara that time by.
Yeah, we're actually on board with Jason Covington now as we're watching him gain some ground on Wesley Whitfield in 7th spot.
Hey, we have James Lehman and loose at it too and up into the wall, and we have one other car actually caught up in that as well. Field is back under caution.
You see that was Lehman that spun?
Yes, sir.
Alright, we got the instant replay going. I got camera 2 on Lehman. It's him coming across the start-finish line. And he just gets loose going into 1. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Loose
Brian
again.
Bazell gets caught up. Also, a little bit of damage on Zach Colbert-Coyer's car from that incident. None of the cars took substantial hits, but all back underway. Lehman probably got the worst of that. Shortened that Monte Carlo SS up slightly in the rear.
Yep, we're now chasing Brian Bazell as he crosses the start-finish line. I'm going to watch him go into 1. Up ahead, you'll see that 81 of Lehman start to get loose. Tries hard to save it, and there's the contact right there. Oh, actually, he did good. He did not get into Lehman, but he did get into by the was that Craig? I think. Well, I'm not sure who got into him. Nonetheless, he spun.
It was Zach Coyer, I think, and Bazell that had the contact as a result of the initial spin. This will bring all the machines down into the pit area for service. Almost all of them. Excuse me. Staying on the track, we had Dustin Lee in the 51. The Georgia Flash stayed out. Actually, Zach Colbert-Coyer elected to stay out too. I guess he felt that that little bit of damage is no big deal on his machine. Yep. Wesley Whitefield now moves up to 4th position, and Mitchell, Alan Matting, rather, looks like, is in that 5th position at number 317.
Yeah, you may need to give him a second to clock around here, but I believe it was Mitchell Reeves who was the first off of pit road. So those that pitted,
Mitchell
he was
Reeves,
the
first
off.
car off of pit roads. Top 5 machines did stay out. And seeing that mix of strategy, just like we did last night in our truck series race. 15, just about to be completed. Long ways to go here.
And it's a short way to get through this cocktail.
Yes, hopefully these guys can get a handle on things and get some laps in the books.
Yeah,
Maybe,
Bob, we haven't seen any car-to-car contact that started these cautions. It's just guys losing it, getting into one.
yeah, guys are really fighting loose in particular in one. You have probably your most entry speed going into one, and with that arc of the corner and everything, it's a longer corner, so it tends to make the car even freer.
Now, these guys do have control over their brake bias inside their cockpits. That's correct.
No, actually, iRacing does not give us that option on these late model machines. That's a good point, because if we did have that, you could dial a little bit of rear brake out of the machine and maybe help that some.
So these guys are all equal. It's just some are maybe a little too hard on the brakes. Probably late braking is what my guess would be. They're little more momentum going into turn number one than the other guys, and when they get on the brakes, precisely. It's a little harder, and that's all she wrote. So more of a finesse driver kind of a track is what it's appearing to be tonight.
Yeah, if you push the limit and overdrive the entry, clearly you're going to pay the price here tonight at Richmond. Lights are off on the iRacing Mustang. Dustin Lee and the Georgia Flash will be leading him down to the green flag as they come by to complete lap 17.
And I got Mitchell Reeves starting in 6th position. He's the first car on fresh tires.
And we'll see what kind of value those fresh tires have from starting way back there. And Dustin Lee gets away pretty cleanly. They get single file for those top 2 spots. We're almost 3 wide. Little contact there, and one car bounces it off the wall. It looked like Alan Manning, and I'm not sure who that was. Stay on the green, though. Nobody's around, and looked like just a rub of the wall, not a hard hit.
I believe Mitchell Reeves was the one who was on the outside that got caught up in the wall there in the 0-2 machine. So he's back to 9th position.
Yes, back to 9th. Early stages. Oh, Dustin Lee just went around at it, too. Not sure if that was off the nose of the 54 machine or not. But Dustin Lee around, and that puts the Georgia Flash, Nick Reynolds, up to the top spot. Not sure if you have a replay of Dustin Lee losing control there, Brian.
Yep, replay enabled. Here's Dustin Lee coming across the start-finish line, going into one. And he
looks like he was the victim of that loose end. This loops the car right around. I picked it up as Nick was just right on his rear bumper. I wasn't sure there, but tough break for Dustin, giving up all that track position. And back to live action out front. That puts the Georgia Flash up to that top spot. Yeah, Zach Coldbeer-Coyer looks like he's reeling him in, Brian, within 2 car lengths now as they work at a turn 4. And there goes the Georgia Flash, putting some sparks in the air as he rushes the wall.
Well, the 54 car does like to make things exciting, and
he sure does.
I don't think he knows what to do once he's up there in the lead. It's got.
Well, what do you caution out, and I'm not sure who that's for. I'm gonna guess. I saw Mitchell Reeves keying up on the chat. Not sure if he was involved in that. And checking now. Not sure what happened there, Ryan. I'm not sure if you caught our most recent caution out.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna go take a look at Al Madding, the 317. We've got the instant replay going now, and
oh, there it is.
317
at it too. He was looked like he got his left side tires below the yellow line. That just hooked the car around. And looking back up front, a little mix of strategy. The Georgia Flash stays out, as does Zach Coldbeer-Coyer. Looks like they're choosing track position over tires. Showing a lot of the other parts of the field in Jason Covington's in the pits. Wesley Whitefield comes down. Mitchell Reeves for service as well. Craig Covington. All these guys are And it looks like not many guys staying out there, Brian. Will do.
Yeah, Bob, we're mixing up the strategy quite a bit here, and not sure how it's going to work out for Nick Reynolds. Is he
Yeah,
the
yeah.
is he the only car that stayed out? Because I see
Well, we
he.
had three come around, and this time by Zach Colbier-Coyer brings that 31 machine down for service, just leaving the Georgia Flash and James Lehman as the only two cars that stayed out under this caution period.
Yep, and Lehman's been on pit road twice so far this race. It is Nick Reynolds who has not been on pit road once. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't recall that 54 machine making its way down. Not a lot of green laps on those tires, but definitely enough, I think, to make a difference.
Well, like we said, Nick does like to make things exciting. Let's give Nick Reynolds a shout out here in the 54 car. He's a lug nut regular. He races with us a lot, and he's fun to be around. That's for sure.
Yes, always makes it interesting, that's for sure.
I'm riding on board with Nick, and it almost appears as if his front right fender is pumped up a little bit, as if he's hit the outside wall a little bit.
Yes, he did brush the wall at a handful of laps ago. That was probably just enough to make a little wing out of that fender.
Yeah, Bob. So now I got the right front suspension camera on the 54 car, and you can definitely tell his right front is all jacked up. So he's definitely made contact with that outside wall. Like we said, always trying to make it exciting for us, and that's what we appreciate about Nick.
And this will complete 26 laps. A lot of challenges out here early, Brian.
You're telling me. I feel very challenged right now, sitting here. We need some green flag laps. That's what we need.
I haven't seen anybody bang one up enough to use their fast repair. Hopefully nobody has yet, but because if they do, it's going to be a long night trying to keep that race car together to the end.
Yeah, right on, Bob. You know, another thing that I'm thinking about right now is these guys are getting loose going into one on fresh tires. Once they start burning the rubber off, isn't that going to make it even harder to get through?
But that very well could. If the front end grip gives up a little bit, that might balance the machine out. It'll be interesting to see if we do get that long run. Field back underway. Georgia Flash hops right out to the lead, but not getting away. James Lehman is right there. And James Lehman also getting a solid challenge for that second spot from Mitchell Reeves as they work down the back straightaway. Top three, you can put a blanket right over them.
Lehman loose too. He's going to give up some ground there at a 4.
Yes, he's been loose and fighting loose a lot of the night.
Reeves in the 0-2 almost went around the outside, but that's not the way to do it through turn 1. So now he's going to give up a spot to Covington, it appears.
Yeah, Jason Covington, who had trouble early on after starting on the pole, back up to the third spot. Definitely a good rebound here from that early trouble he had. And Lehman is loose. He saves it and then goes all the way around and noses it into the wall slightly. That was a slow, lazy spin that fortunately lost it all the way around.
Yeah, but
sure, Brian's got the replay.
Got the replay on the 81 machine. I think we've all seen this before. He's got some rear end damage actually in this replay, so he may have some downforce issues to begin with. But just getting into one, unable to make it stick, aggressively tries to save it, unable to make that happen either, and then he eventually oversteers it into the outside wall. Lehman in the 81, lots of crashing today. A little out of character for him.
Yes, clearly has not used his fast repair because he's still showing some damage from the earlier spin that he was involved in.
Yeah, and he should know the amount of damage on that rear spoiler. He has less downforce getting into turn one than everyone else, so he's more apt to spin out.
And as the cars did come out of turn 4, Brian, the Georgia Flash did elect to pit this time, as does Jason Covington, and most of the field showing 4 cars bypassing the pit entrance.
Well, at the very least, they'll make it more exciting for us, Bob.
Yeah, buddy, you bet. Mitchell Reeves will assume the lead by staying out this time. And that might be the first time Mitchell's been to the front.
And Lehman's the first one off of pit road, so he must have done 2 tires and
Yes, and not sticking around to work on that damage, which is a big surprise.
All right, well, we got him live on camera. The 81, his damage has been repaired. The 81 has used his fast repair. He's looking sharp again.
Yes, interesting strategy. I don't know if I would have used the fast repair if having this much trouble earlier on. I might have elected to work on the car.
Now, taking a closer look at the 81's paint scheme, now that it's not all bent up, it appears as if it's an ode to Jerry Nadeau, my hometown of Danbury, Connecticut driver. He was in that paint scheme in the 10 car, I believe, about 12, 14 years ago. So, Jerry, if you're watching, you got a fan of me, Brian from Danbury, and we miss you, buddy.
Yes, and James Lehman does actually serve in the Army as well.
So he's probably not giving a shout out to Jerry. I got you.
Well, I was just going to mention that as a side note and try to make you look still right there, Brian.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, Lehman's stationed out there in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
And that's just an example of some of the great paint jobs that you can get. Over-the-top paints and designs. That's one of their fine pieces of work right there. And just a quick update. Looks like Charles Lahr has retired from the race. Not sure why. Parking the 41 machine early tonight.
I think he must have a curfew. That's my guess.
Could be. Tough break, though. We saw Charles actually having a strong run a couple of weeks ago, Brian, and not finishing that night as well. Be interesting to see if Charles does stay with it one night, where he would end up finishing. Because definitely can put down some good laps.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Kind of a disorganized field right here. I'm not sure Whitfield on the outside. It's like he's trying to let people go by him or something. But
yeah, it looks like. Wow, he might have been in the Drickle mode, trying to put out a cigarette. Looks like they're getting a little bit better organized as they get over into turns 3 and 4. And the iRacing Mustang escapes the speedway. The only car not getting loose out there tonight is the Mustang. And they're back on the way. Mitchell Reeves leads them down into turn 1. And we have a lot of side-by-side action going down in there, Brian. Back behind them.
yeah, this is fantastic. We're zoomed out to camera 3 right now just to capture all this action. 2x2 through the middle of the field, and Mitchell Reeves is kind of checking out up front.
Yes, looking back behind him, we have Zach Coldbeer-Cloyer putting some pressure on Lehman as they go into 1. And Lehman able to get back down and slams the door shut.
Oh, we got...
Man, we did have somebody bang the wall. Was that the leader?
It was. Able to save it, though. He used all the racetrack, but he was able to save it and lost 1 position. So Reeves back to 2nd.
Yes, wonder how much damage you put on that 0-2 machine with that. Goes up the track in turn 2, gets bypassed by James Lehman, and almost a threat for free wide. The guys think better of it. And we have Jason Covington making an aggressive move on Nick Reynolds into 3. Nick goes up the track, is able to hang on to it, though. Guys are definitely getting after it.
Yeah, use those fresh tires while you have the chance. Oh, we got a spin in the rear of the field. Looks like Alan Madding has spun it around, but the caution has not come out. However, He is smoking badly, so he's going to have to stop for a fast repair if he's not already used one.
Tough break for Alan Matting, Mr. Breeze. Slowly working his way on the inside of the speedway. It will take that machine down to the pit area for some attention.
And we'll focus in on the 317 and show off that fantastic paint job. He's looking pretty sharp tonight. I know Alan does a lot of painting himself.
And up front, we do have a battle for that top spot. James Lehman gets that top position away from Wesley Whitefield. In his mirror, Wesley Whitefield now challenged by Mitchell Reeves. And Wesley Whitefield is now challenged once again, giving up the 3 spots here in this last lap and a half.
Yeah.
Who's second? Goldbeer Coyer the third.
Yeah, Whitefield may very well have burnt off his tires a little bit getting going. He made an aggressive pass and down some fast laps, and now he's falling back. This battle is really just heating up though up front with
yeah, it sure is.
Reeves really reeling him in here. Tell you what, let's go on board with Mitchell Reeves as he. Oh my goodness, the amount of damage on Reeves' right front is just extraordinary, and he's able to hang tight and keep up. And that's like a parachute on the front of the car. That can't be good.
Yeah, it might have helped the car. The way he's running, Brian. The car's fighting loose. This might have actually tightened his car up with a little less aero on the front. Right, Lehman does stretch the lead out slightly that time by.
Yeah, and Coyer really not slowing down one bit. So it is Reeves who's the slowest of the top 3 right now. Yeah, having a little trouble staying up there, but not for lack of effort. He may be over driving the car at this point because we're only 1/3 of the way through, and he's racing like it's the last lap.
Yes, just about into that 1/3 mark, like Brian said. Field will be completing 46 laps this time by. And this is, I think, one of our longer green runs, Brian. Looks like guys are starting to get a handle on that loosened condition. Maybe the track's rubbered in a little bit and helping it out. And just as I say that, I have a car around over in turns 1 and 2. And, well, guess who it is? It's the Georgia Flash and that 54 machine.
Yep, Nick Reynolds on instant replay. We're watching him. These instant replays go about 30 seconds back. We're watching him battle the 18 of Bizzell. Bizzell not giving Reynolds an inch of room out of 4, and then across the start-finish line, we're going to watch Bizzell kind of pinch the 54 down again, and the 54 tries to stay off him and just gets loose and spins it out. So as we were saying, not a whole lot of contact tonight. We'll chalk that up to just good hard racing.
Yeah, between having less of an arc in the corner and having to put a little extra wheel in it, probably had trouble there.
Yeah, and just as we went back to live action, I'm still in the 54 in time to watch him crash into the back of the 96 machine as they were queuing up for pit road. So a little extra damage to the 54.
Yeah,
and
a little extracurricular activity there.
Yeah, I don't think that was on purpose, but Covington is definitely going to be the loser in that battle, Craig Covington, because the rear of his machine is all jacked up, so he may need to use a fast repair just to kind of stick with it. But Bob, I think now would be a great time as we're 1/3 of the way through this race to hit one of our 3 commercials. So how about a little shout out to the Wise Guys? You got it.
All right, and you're watching Loose Lug Nuts TV. We'll be right back in a moment.
From Pasco County, this is Wise Guys. Tougher every day, and I gotta do my part 'cause I
welcome back to Richmond International Raceway. Loose Lug Nuts Bump and Run Series under the lights tonight. Quick update. Looks like Nick Reynolds was penalized for the extracurricular activity under caution there and will be losing a lap. Tough break for Nick. Hopefully he reels in the emotions. Field is starting to form up, Brian, and I believe the lights will be off this time by on that iRacing Mustang. And currently showing James Lehman.
Yeah, we still got one to go before green, I think, unless I'm not. Yeah, we still got one to go before green.
Yep, one to go this time. James Lehman is our leader. Zach Colbeard-Coyer will be bringing him down to his outside. And 317 peels away. Alan Madding getting one of his laps back. Good job there for him. Good to see. Has a way to go to get back on the lead lap, but
not as far as Mark Jackson in the 3 car, though.
Yeah, interesting. Mark fought some connection issues early in the last practice. Didn't think we're going to see magic shoes, but he has joined the race.
34 laps down, Bob. So you're telling me I have a chance.
Wanting to score some points, though. That's good to see. Guys going through that to do that. Field is back on the way. James Lehman, nice solid jump on that start. Lead the field down. It's side by side. Looks like Brian for third, fourth, and fifth.
Side by side at some points. That's a real exciting race there. And it looks like the 51's able to edge out the 74 and out the 02 of Reeves. He actually pitted, and I believe, let's take a look at his right front. Still a little crumpled, but he did pit and get some repairs done under. Oh no, that's the 74. I'm sorry. Here's Reeves, and here's the right front on Reeves. Yep, that is all jacked up still. Okay, so he did pit and fix some damage, just not all of it.
Yes, some of the machines showing some battle scars out there. I was just watching Craig Covington come by. He's got a little battle scar on the back end of his car from the 54 machine.
Yep, as we ride along and drone view behind the 96, you can see exactly where the 54 car made contact with the 96. Right there, square in the middle of that Chevrolet bow tie symbol.
And back up front, Brian, Jason Covington, when we were looking at all that stuff, worked his way to the front. Full sitter early on, had trouble, and now back in the lead. Zach Colbeard-Coyer hanging on to second. I think we missed something up front there, Brian. Not sure where. I think Jason was running like third or fourth the last time I was looking at the front of the field.
I'm going to queue up an instant replay, and we're going to go back far enough to capture it. So,
sounds good.
Basically, I had the 31, I had the 10 in third spot, it looks like. And, yeah, Lehman got into the wall, coming at a 2. Yeah, loose in, loose off, yeah, into the 2. And then the car that was the second spot had to check up, and Covington did not lift. Held that inside line and took the lead. So back to live action. We still got Jason Covington out front.
Yes, and wait, looking at that replay, Dustin Lee worked his way to second. Pretty good battle there. Zach Colbeard-Coyer falling off just a little bit. Mitchell Reeves in that 02 machine now up to third. And Colbeard-Coyer gets worked by Jason Lehman.
Yep, fresh tires and aggressive driving is the name of the game right now. Those guys that are really pushing hard and have the fresh tires are able to make some pretty good moves and move up the food chain here. This is not one of those races where you can just maintain. You constantly have to be battling to go forward, and that's what we're seeing a lot of. Run through the top 10 real quick. We got Covington with the lead over Dustin Lee. Mitchell Reeves back into third spot now with James Lehman, who has led a lot of laps tonight, bet up front, but struggled with some handling issues in fourth spot. Zach, they call him the Colbeard-Coyer, in fifth. Brian Bizzell, we haven't talked about him very much tonight in the 18th car.
We sure haven't.
He's in sixth spot. Whitfield in the 74, 7th, and then Jeans, Covington, Reynolds rounds out your top 10 with Nick Reynolds being the first car a few laps down. He is 3 laps down at this point.
And quick updates. Mr. Breeze, Alan Madding, calling it a night, loading up that 317 and heading back to St. Petersburg, Florida. And Field will be coming by, completing 63 laps.
It's nice we're getting some green flag laps in, Bob.
Yes. Guys, definitely starting to get a handle on things. Jason Covington with a nice lead, Brian, about 3 car lengths, and really hitting his marks each lap rather nicely.
Yeah, this race has the feel of lug nut of old, doesn't it? Here at Richmond under lights, and we spoke too soon. There goes
God,
Jason.
I'm gonna have to apologize. I think I just jinxed him.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sorry, Jason Covington, for the broadcaster jinx I just put on you.
We're actually going to go on board with Jason Covington for this spin out, so you can see what it's like to be in the car when it all goes so horribly wrong. So here's Covington coming across the start-finish line, and he's just going to lose going into one. We've seen them all do it. And he spins, doesn't hit anything or anyone, stays seated until they all go around him. Oh, he had to wait a long time before all the cars went around. And then back it going. Oh, we had another car go around. The 31 actually spun as well.
Yes, probably as a result of that, reactionary spin, if you will.
All right, so now TV1 on Zach Coyer in this replay. He was loose. Coyer was loose getting into one all by himself before the accident even happened. And then he's sideways coming up on Jason Covington. Took some evasive action. Didn't hit any cars. Didn't hit the wall. But he looped it around too. So Zach Coyer helping to bring out that caution. But let's go back to live action as these guys are on pit road.
Action. The entire field did pit.
All right, Lehman's off pit road first. And you get the Whitfield, the 74. They may have only taken 2 tires, it appears. Nice battle, Bizel and somebody else. But Jason Covington, he's one of the last cars off pit road. Stayed a little longer to take care of some damage there. So up front, it appears we're going to have James Lehman regaining the lead.
Yes, watching that iRacing score update, the Georgia Flash got a lap back there, Brian. Pretty good break for him.
I'm having a hard time seeing that because it looks like he's right behind James Lehman.
Oh, he was the lucky dog. While those guys were down in the pit area, he worked his way around the speedway to get one back.
So did Lehman not pit? Is that what happened?
No, I'm not sure why Lehman went ahead of him. Yeah, 54 machine will be working his way down into the pits this time by. And I haven't been keeping track, Brian, but I'm not sure how many cautions that is.
Oh, I got a button for that, man.
You have a button for that.
I got a button for everything. Hold on, let's do a couple of fun things here. Here's your race information. This is the Bump and Run series, season 3. And here's our race summary. We've completed 68 laps, 10 lead changes, 6 cautions for 26 laps. So 70 laps in the books, 26 of those 70 laps under caution.
I was going to guess 6. It's a big number.
Yeah.
So not a lot of grip here at Richmond tonight. These guys clearly trying to get the handle on things. And nobody wanting to give an inch. They want to get these machines around here as fast as possible, but definitely you guys are crossing the line of how much grip they have, going in the one in particular, as we've seen.
One thing that's fun to see is it's the fastest guys in the track. They're the ones who are having the most issues going into turn number 1. So for those at home who are watching and taking notes, the fastest way around this might be what these guys are doing, which is going to make you loose going into 1. So I'm not sure how to back that into my next race here. I think it's really... Oh, we're going to go back, Reen. I'll stop talking. Bob, you got the wheel.
Oh, that's fine there. James Lehman does regain the lead and leads the field down in a turn 1. That's 70 laps in the books. Field kind of strung out, a little bit too wide actually, further back in the pack. We have Lehman, Reeves, and Dustin Lee, and behind them they have a car around off the nose of the 18. It looked like in turns 3 and 4, Brian.
Yep, we're going to go instant replay TV1 on Wesley Whitfield in the 74 machine.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, we're going to watch him come out of 4 here, I believe. No, I'm sorry, that's out of 2. And looks like Brian Bazell trying to mount a pass, doesn't throw. Ho, 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 ho. Let's do another instant replay here. We are going to go back to Brian Bazell. We're going to go on board Brian Bazell. And we're going to watch Brian Bazell do an interesting maneuver here. So here we come off of turn number 2. You see Whitfield way high, really leaving the door open here. Once we come into the backstretch, Whitfield has that position. Bazell just kind of drives through him. And then as the 74 car starts to spin, Bazell, well, he hits him again.
Yeah, that's what I saw,
More of a dump truck maneuver than anything else. There is a brake pedal. It's somewhere in the middle between the clutch and gas. But, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So back live, TV1 on Bazell. Take a look at his front end. He's got all kinds of damage. And unfortunately, a lot of that damage happened on the second and third contact with that car that was spinning. So he probably could have saved himself a real headache there, but looking at the back end of that car, that's all jacked up. So he's either out of repairs or doesn't care, or I'm not sure what, but that's Brian Bazell in 8th position.
Yeah, tough break for Brian, getting moved to the end of the line as a result of that aggressive driving and wrecking. And update on Wesley Whitefield. Looks like he's put that 74 machine in the hauler and headed back to the Carolinas.
Interesting. Now, Bazell, he should be pitting right now to fix some of the damage. He is at the tail end of the field, so no harm done. So are we getting the one to go this time by, or?
I think we got 2 to go still.
All right, so let's take a look and see who's coming on pit road.
And under this caution, Nick Reynolds did get another wave around. Now looks like he's only 1 lap down.
That 08 machine joins pit road as well. Michael Jeans in the 08. I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just about 30 seconds. Welcome back to Loose Lug Nuts Bump and Run series on Friday nights. This is Brian Trouble, and alongside Bad Bob Wells. Bob, how's this race working out for you so far?
Wow, drivers are really fighting a combination of setup, weather, and everything else. Giving these guys a fit.
Yeah, but I'm just taking a closer look at our live stream. It does look like we're up in green, but... Oh, yeah, we're green. We are racing.
Yes, we are back to green. Lehman takes the field down into one, and a lot of evasive maneuvers there by the 0-2 machine of Mitchell Reeves. Not sure if he got loose or if he was blocking that 81 machine of Dustin Lee. That battle continues on through turns 3 and 4. Dustin down low. Mitchell straightening the wall. Dustin will take that spot.
We got action all over the track. I was on the back half there, and they are all over the place. Lots of contact.
Yes, a lot of battle scars out there on these machines, Brian. Mark Jackson still on the track and putting some laps in too as well.
Nice enough to pull off to the side and let these guys go by, though, because he knows he's not really in it right now.
Yes, and I was just happened to be watching that action back there. Craig Covington that time getting the wall out of 2 a little bit. Putting a little more character on that 96 machine. Back up front, James Lehman once again in control of the field. Showing Dustin Lee second, Mitchell Reeves third, Jason Covington in 4th currently.
See a lot of damage in the back of the Jason Covington car, again with that spoiler. So I mean, it's really gonna be hard to get into one with damage on your spoiler. That's for sure. So
yeah, not sure where he got those battle scars. Yeah, that's a substantial amount of damage as I'm looking at it on my screen. Still able to run 4th though, which isn't too bad for a car with that much character on it.
Character, that's what we're calling it. Let's take a look at the character on all other cars. Let's go back to Mark Jackson. Oops.
Yes, Mark Jackson, not a whole lot of character on his car, but there's definitely a character in that car.
Looks like Craig Covington's got a lot of damage to his rear end, and we know that happened with the contact with the 54 under caution. Bizzell, he's got some damage. You know, they're all running that bow tie apparel logo on the back, and all these cars are banged up in the rear end, yes. So you can't really read it too well. Zach's looking real clean. Again, we're on Jason Covington. He's a little dinged up. And James Lehman, now his car is very clean. That's not been the case the entire night, though.
Yes, James did use that fast repair. I think it was a couple of cautions ago. Hopefully he can hang on the machine and keep it clean for the rest of the race. Field completing 85 laps. Just past the halfway, Brian. Still outside the window, though, to make it on fuel. Not that fuel will be a big concern based on the amount of cautions. This race does not have a green fill, Brian. I'm pretty sure the race car will be back on the speedway at some point.
Well, you never know with 85 laps of practice now. Maybe these guys have a handle on their car. You know, you never know. You never know how these cars are going to react under race conditions. You know, the temperatures change, the amount of rubber that's working in the track changes, and you just never know until you run the race. And I think the more rubber they put in, and the more practice they get, the less likely they are to spin getting into one. We may see a lot of contact coming off these turns, or other kinds of extracurricular activity contact. But I'm confident that spin going to one is going to be a thing of the old.
All right, and we'll see who gets the broadcaster jinx this time as the field works their way through 1 and 2.
Well, I didn't.
Man,
I didn't.
Lehman,
I didn't use anyone's name specifically. So I mean,
yes,
that's
no, I did, and that hurt Jason Covington when I said his name.
well.
But,
We're going live on board with James Lehman as he drives a flawless race up front. We're on board with him as he goes into 3. No way he's getting loose. So here he's coming out of 4. Let's watch him and how he handles getting into 1.
yeah, I've been watching him last few laps, Brian. Really looks like he's eased up on his pace a little bit. The car looks really nice and smooth, hitting his marks rather nicely here at this stage in the race.
Yeah, it sure does, Bob. I think he's found that happy medium. You have to learn that you can't push it every single lap, and you can be the fastest car without pushing it. And here he is. You know, he's up front, leading the way. He's got a nice 1.5 second lead over Dustin Lee, and there's no reason for him to push it. However, it's exactly where Jay Covington was when he lost control up front. So these tires will wear, and they need to back it down as the tires wear, and we'll see if he can catch it before it becomes a thing.
Yep, best way to find out where that line is, Brian, is to cross it.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's look back at the 51 car, Dustin Lee. We haven't really talked about him a lot tonight. He's having a fantastic race.
Sure is. Was one of our early leaders as well. Not sure what the lead change count is up to. Whoa, Dustin locks him up. Looks like he overdrove the entry, or something happened there. But in the middle of the corner, a lot of tire smoke from locking the brakes up, and loses 2 spots in that exchange. Dustin Lee back to 4th.
Well, Bobby, we were talking about him, so that does make sense.
Yes, we'll work our way through the field and see if we can put some. Oh, look at. We have the 0-2 doing almost the same thing. A little less drama from the tire smoke, but locks them up and slides up the track.
Now we got Dustin Lee on the inside of...
The caution flag does come out.
All right, do we know who that's for yet?
I do not, but I do have Zach Coyer already on pit road, so I'm going to guess he may have been involved.
All right, we got the instant replay going. I got TV1 on Coyer. This is him going into turn number 1. He's looking pretty smooth there. Off at 2, looking okay. Oh, the 18 to Bazell. That's where all that action was. So let's rewind a little bit back to Bazell. All that damage in the front of his car.
Tough break for Bazell and Zach Coyer. I just got a message from him. The caution, his race ran a little bit long, and he actually has to exit the sim and head off to work.
Yikes. So we're on board. We're not on board. We're watching the 18. He just gets loose going into 1. Overcorrects it and careens into the turn 2 wall. Hard impact. And able to keep it running. Yeah, that hard impact was made a little bit better because he's hit a lot of stuff already. But Bob, let's go ahead and take not a commercial break, but a real break. We're going to put that Lugnut TV logo up for a few minutes, and we'll be back with fresh cocktails and beers. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, welcome back. This is Over the Top Paints and Designs, brought to you by Loose Lug Nut TV. And that's me saying the wrong thing at the wrong time because Bob is taking a break. So as we go back to green flag action here, I got Dustin Lee looking for the green flag. Pace car is off, and that's Jason Covington with a big start on the inside. He really caught Dustin sleeping there. Jason off into one, and the 81 car of Lehman really trying to make up some ground real quick going into two. Now the back starts a real drag race. Let's see who lifts first going into three. Neither of them. We're watching the 81 machine really push hard to get around the 51. And he's able to do that getting into turn one. And now the 81 machine is going to turn his sights on the 10 car. All right, Bob, you back with us? You're
Yes,
unmuted.
yes, and field inside of 50 to go. Been a wild night, Brian. These guys, gosh, it's almost like a dirt track race with the lack of grip, but no shortage of action and lead changes as well. We must be up to 15 or 16 lead changes, Brian.
Yeah, I got a race summary button for that. We are 103 laps in. We've had 12 lead changes. And the worst stat on here, 8 cautions for 35 laps. But other than that, 12 lead changes, that's a fantastic race.
Yes, sir. Currently leading, Jason Covington. Getting a lot of pressure now from James Lehman down the front straightaway. James taking that inside line. And that battle add up to, looks like Lehman will take the lead. I sure do. I just noticed that. Good call.
Yeah.
Anyway, just recapping what happened a few moments ago.
In the 81 car, James Lehman leading Jason Covington. He really wasted no time. The cameraman totally missed it. He was looking at some other stuff, but these things happen. And now we're watching Covington actually reel in the
yes
81.
Lehman getting really loose that time through 1 and 2, and that loss of momentum enabled the 10 and the 0-2 machine to real rack up to the front. Kind of glad I had it on replay so I got to watch that that battle for the lead that occurred while I was away.
Yeah, we're just we're both fans right now watching these top 4 cars do their best to win this race. I should say that the last 3 cars in the top 4 trying to reel in Lehman is really what it looks like. James throwing down some real fast laps right now, sub 22 seconds just about every single time.
Yeah, it's really anybody out of the top 4, Brian. There's not a guy that I can put my finger on that's dominated all night for sure out of the top 4 drivers. Any one of these guys could be sitting in Lugnut victory lane tonight. Not to sell the other guys out. We do have Nick Reynolds after an earlier penalty ended up 3 laps down, is now back on the lead lap in 5th spot. Nick having to overcome some things tonight, but back in 5th. Brian Bazell in that 6th position as well, and he's had his challenges for sure tonight, Brian. Not saying these guys can't win, but I think the favorites that I have in my notebook of the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Covington has just taken the lead over back from Lehman. I'm going to do a quick instant replay on that to make sure we can capture the moment of truth.
The moment of truth, yes. And while we're getting that replay up for you folks, Mr. Reeves now works his way into 2nd spot. Lehman, though, wants that spot back into 1.
And just like Lehman got a poor exit off of 4, left the door open for Covington, and he went right through. So not a whole lot happening there. Back to live action, I got Covington with a decent-sized lead on Lehman, who really just continues to want to spin out, getting into turn 1 and turn 3. He's really let it all hang out, and unfortunately, that leaves the door open for Reeves to stick a nose in coming off of 2.
Yeah, second time in the last 5 laps. These guys have been swapping this spot, Brian. It's really fun to watch, actually. James Lehman and Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves back in action tonight with us. Spent the last few weekends drag racing, and it looks like he's done rather well from what I saw on Facebook. But tonight, whoa, he slams the wall at it too. Oh my God. The drag racing, you don't have to chirp, but you do here. He may have forgotten that with a few weeks off. Heavy damage on that 0-2 machine, but he keeps going.
Yeah, 3 wide across the stripe.
3 wide. Dustin Lee looking to capitalize on this. Thinks better of it. Checks up early. What a gentleman. That could have been big, Brian.
Yeah, these guys are all under that southeast banner. They know what's up. They're playing it cool and having a whole lot of fun doing it. But Reeves, remarkably, back up at the 2nd spot after all that.
Yes, meanwhile, Jason Covington has put the last of his clothes in the suitcase, zipped it up, and has checked out. Nice lead for Jason Covington. Well, these guys were having a lot of fun behind him.
Yeah, no need for a late checkout today, Bob. He is out on time.
That's one of the bigger leads that we've seen tonight, Brian.
Yep.
And this battle just keeps going with these guys. Mark Jackson, not really in the mix as far as standings, but working his way through these guys.
Yeah, right.
Might have a slightly better, faster car right now, even though he's not racing for position.
Yeah, Bob, right now I got the camera 3 on Covington showing what a 2-second lead looks like, as he's all by himself. He's in his zip code all by himself right now. And yeah, as you pointed it out, we got the 3 of Mark Jackson just kind of carving up the field right now as he makes his way to the front. Who knows? He may try to get a lap back the old-fashioned way.
He sure might. Keeps battling with Dustin Lee. Dustin wanted nothing of that, and kind of aggressively blocking Mark Jackson last time around. Mark yields to these guys. Takes his foot out of it early in the 3 and gets back behind the top 4 machines. Good sportsmanship on his part there.
Yeah, get up there, throw some elbows, let them know you're there, and then back off. I think that's what he just did.
And sadly, it looked like it's stabled out here for a few minutes. Jason Covington, again, with that strong lead over James Lehman. James, though, looks like he's reeled it up just a little bit this last time by without all the battling going on. Behind him, Dustin Lee, Mitchell Reeves, Nick Reynolds, still shown in 5th. And Michael James now has worked his way up to 6th.
Yeah, to kind of quantify some of the stuff, Lehman is now down by 1.7 seconds. He was actually over 2 seconds behind not too long ago. So let's go back to camera 3 on Lehman, and you can see how that gap between him and Covington has really shrunk.
Yes, and we'll see what it updates at this time by as he hits the stripe. Well, he fell off that lap. Actually back to 2 seconds now.
Yep, something happened to him off of turn 4. So he's got turn 1 figured out, but coming off of 4 really seems to be a trouble spot for him. And that leaves the door open for Dustin Lee to kind of see if he can take over 2nd spot.
Wanting to get back to the front. Time is winding down, Brian. Field is working lap 124. Tonight's race distance 150, so
25 laps to go.
Down to the nitty-gritty. It's been a long race, a lot of cautions, but a lot of good racing despite all of the challenges.
Yeah, Bob, I'm proud to say we've been, oh, well, here we go about jinxing it, but we've been live for 1 hour and almost 30 minutes. Been doing pretty good. Got our 30 frames per second. Solid stream going. I know it's been touch and go a little bit during the middle of the race, but we never lost connection, so that's pretty exciting for me.
Yes. The only thing that's sad about that is the fans have had to listen to the two of us for an hour and a half straight. But I hope they enjoyed the racing. This series is actually off next week, Brian. Next week, Loose Lucknuts has another awareness race, diabetes awareness. We will have the Xfinity cars at California, I believe it is, Brian. That should be a fun event. Looking forward to joining you in the booth and having a call next Friday night.
Yep.
Diabetes awareness.
That'll be you and me. We'll be eating lots of sugar and drinking milkshakes and bringing awareness to diabetes. Nothing? On Monday,
not even gonna touch that one.
On Monday nights, I do humor at the Ha Ha Hole. It doesn't go over very well there either, but
yes.
we gotta try.
Yes. I hope they serve free drinks.
Only if you're funny.
Well, I'm not even gonna touch that one either. In other news, though, Monday night new series starting for the Lucknut drivers that are watching this. We will have the Mad Mazda Mini Stock, 7:30 p.m. on Monday night. And on Wednesday night, another new series for Lucknut drivers. We will have the Legends Dirt Series. Yes, Legends cars on dirt. Both of these series will run for 6 races to the end of this iRacing quarterly season. Should be a lot of fun. Tell you, Brian, I'm not sure if you participated in the last time I ran the Mazda Mini Stock, so one of those Lucknut late night harebrained ideas, but it was a lot of fun running those cars. That's the MX-5 car, actually designed for road racing, but we're taking it to the ovals and gonna have some fun with it.
I hear you can make a whole lot of contact in those cars. Is that true?
Oh, you can make a little bit, but the cars, they handle very nicely. They're low power, and we were running, I think it was Southern National, and guys were running 2 wide and everything. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, Bob, we're watching Nick Reynolds make a pass on Mitchell Reeves for 4th spot, and Reeves not rolling over. He's going to take a look back on the inside going into 1 here.
Yes, Georgia Flash fighting all that adversity tonight, trying to get in deep inside the top 5. Mitchell Reeves with the bottom line through 3 and 4. Should be able to get back in front of him. Well, there's Nick Reynolds with that momentum, able to stay with him on the high side. And we do have a caution flag out. I'm not sure who that was for. Looks like the 18 machine has found trouble again tonight. Oh.
All right, Bob, I got the instant replay queuing up for the 18 car. We're on TV1. This is Bizzell coming across the start-finish line and going into 1. Looks like he's behind the 08. And Bizzell makes a little bit more than incidental contact with that 08 and eats the inside wall.
That's definitely not one of Brian's better nights. Brian, a pretty good driver, just not able to find the handle here in Richmond. And I know he's already used 1 fast repair. This might be the end of the night for Brian. Definitely billowing a lot of smoke out of that Monte Carlo SS as he drove it back to the pits, Brian. And this will set up an exciting short run to the finish, Brian. We'll get on the pace car here. It looks like we had a few guys stay out, showing the 08s. I think he was on the lead lap. Michael Jeans staying out.
I got a lot of. My scoreboard's all over the place. I got Craig Covington leading the race.
Yeah, wait for that to update this time by. Mine is not accurate at all. But Michael Jeans Well, I didn't get an update. Well, not the update I expected to see anyway.
Now I got Jason Covington up front. I may have just read it wrong, but
Michael G's, it looks like he's staying out for a wave around. I stand corrected.
that could be. He was towards the back of the pack, so he may have gotten caught behind the pace car as they came back to take the flag. And then you got Mark Jackson behind him. And who's that next car behind Jackson?
It'd be Jason Covington, I believe, is going to be scored in the lead. James Lehman in that 81 Army machine will be scored second. Forgive us, folks. It takes iRacing. We have to wait for all the cars to come back around out of the pits and cross the line before we get updated information on our screens.
So Jackson got the good old-fashioned wave around, the lucky dog, if you will. And now it's going to be the 08 who gets that the wave around right before we go to green.
Yep, on the one to go, we'll see him rocking away and rejoin the field at the end, and that will put him on the lead lap. He's at the tail end of the lead lap now. And that will have a total of 7 cars in the lead lap. We have Jason Covington, James Lehman, Dustin Lee, the Georgia Flash, Nick Reynolds, Mitchell Reeves, and the Elder Covington, Craig Covington in 6. Michael Jeans, he will rejoin the field at the tail end, so he'll have a couple of lap cars in between him and the rest of the field. And lights are off on the iRacing Mustang. Getting ready to go back to green. Field will be beginning lap 140 this time. 10 laps to get it done. Jason Covington with a great job on that restart. Will get away and into the lead as they enter turn 1. He has James Lehman chasing him down in an 81 machine. And it looks like Brian Mazzell was able to rejoin the action. Surprise there. I thought he was out of Fast and Furious. And Lehman is coming. Jason Covington will have to deal with him before this race is over.
Yeah, we're going live on board with Lehman as he hits the...
Lehman's sideways. He's sideways. He saves it. He's sideways. He's out of my screen. I'm not sure what happened.
He saved it. He's all right. He saved it. But now,
yes, that was exciting. Dirt racing, it looked like.
He's back up in the 4th spot. He gets back around Dustin Lee, it looks like, as we go into 1. But that puts him back in 4th behind Reeves and Reynolds, and they're all trying to chase down Covington. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, your Georgia Flash
making
some sparks.
Yes, the Georgia Flash, always making it exciting. Mitchell Reeves, though, with no part of that excitement, will drive around him into 2nd.
And everyone's
good
got
point for Jason Covington with this battling going on. He's able to reel that lead out.
Yeah, everyone's got damage on their right front at this point, so none of them are throwing down their fastest lap of the race, that's for sure. Except for maybe Covington, who's out front with all that smooth sailing, you know? Actually, I'm going to check it out. His right front is looking perfect. Unlike Reeves, that's all bent up. Lehman's looking pretty good too, so he's still got a right front fender on the car with about 6 to go.
Yes, 6 to go. Been a long night for these guys. Jason Covington was solid lead though. Mitchell Reeves in chase. 0.8 of a second that time by Brian. We'll see where that gap is when they come back around.
We got Nick Reynolds getting back around Lehman. Lehman really blew the corner there. And Nick was able to just kind of get past him real quick. That puts Nick to 3rd, Mitchell Reeves to 2nd.
And Jason did gain just a slight bit that last time by on the lead.
Right, well that was because Lehman blew the corner and fell back quite a bit. So now next man up, which I thought was Nick Reynolds. So Reeves got around him. I didn't even see that happen, but it all happened at once, I think.
Yeah, Reeves was able to get around the Georgia Flash a couple laps ago. And the Georgia Flash loose through 1 and 2. Looks like he slid up, maybe got the wall a little bit again off the pace and drops a bunch of spots there that time on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's Nick falling back to the 5th spot. Able to save it and get rid of. Oh, he's loose going into 1.
Loose and saves it again.
Still green.
That's kind of like one of those deals where you wreck and don't hit anything.
All right, so I'm going back up front to watch Jason Covington with a less than 1 second lead now. So Mitchell Reeves with 2 laps to go is reeling him in a little bit.
Yeah, about a 10th that lap, Brian, was the change in the interval.
All right, we're going to stay real close with Covington as he takes the white flag this time around.
Yes, white flag this time. Jason just got to keep it smooth, hit his marks, and he will bring that number 10 machine home to look that victory lane tonight. Currently, Mitchell Reeves in that 2nd spot, getting a little pressure from James Lehman as they worked out a 4, but James not able to get there. And Mitchell Reeves will come home 2nd behind Jason Covington and wins. James Lehman 3rd. Dustin Lee comes home 4th tonight. Georgia Flash bring it home, that 54 machine. 5th, Craig Covington in 6th. Michael Jeans 7th. And long, tough night for Brian Gazelle. But he brings his machine home 8th. And Mark Jackson, who joined the action late, comes home 9th. And we will begin our Loose Lug Nuts Victory Lane ceremonies. Here we are going to get top 3 up here. Ryan, long night for these guys.
Yeah, it was. Now we're watching Jason Covington do his victory burnouts. Well done, and he parks it. Oh, and he disappears.
And James Lehman, welcome to post-race ceremonies here for Loose Lug Nuts Racing. 3rd place tonight. Looked like the guys were fighting loose in all night. Tell us how your race was.
Race went pretty good and had a couple spin outs at the beginning because just trying to get used to the rear end of the car because I don't know what it was, but every time I get new tires, the 3rd lap going into turn 1, it just wanted to loop that rear end around, so it just kept wanting to do it.
So I guess 3 is not your lucky number.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Although, ironically, bringing it home 3rd tonight. Anyway, and good run there, James Lehman. Thank you for once again joining us, and congrats on that 3rd place finish.
Thank you, man.
And gonna grab Mitchell Reeves, who came home 2nd. Mitchell, how you doing? Tough race out there for you guys tonight. A lot of cautions. Looked like the guys were fighting loose machines going into the corner. Tell us about your race.
Actually, it was a great race. Hats off to Jason Covington. He drove just a heck of a race. I think I was pretty quick. One thing about running with a lot of people with Southeast Motorsports is you're going to run a lot of teammates, and had a lot of fun, hard racing. So can't decipher that at all. So great. It was a great race. Like I said again, hats off to Jason Covington. Just drove a well of a race. It seemed like whenever you got to the lead, just that clean air was just kind of the thing that broke the camel's back, and we just couldn't get him. But it was a great race overall.
Hey Mitchell, this is Brian Tribble up here in the booth. We noticed a lot of front right damage on your car and some of your competitors. How is that affecting your aero and your lap times?
Well, I think it's just I trying to drive the car way too hard and trying to be Dale Earnhardt, and obviously I'm not, more like a Carrier Earnhardt, as I hit the wall about 14 times. But it was good. My line was a little bit different, and I think it killed me on exit. I was really quick in entry, but I was just overdriving it on exit, and I think I hit the wall just about. I realistically about 6 or 7 times tonight, and it just I think it hurt me a little bit. But like I said, it would have been hard to get to Jason. He was fast, but to be P2, been really busy lately, and to come back and finish second place, be back with Loose Lug Nuts, which is awesome league. It's a happy night, and can't wait for the next one.
Well, all right. Well, good to have you back, and good luck in the drag race. And any updates on the racing over there that you've been doing on the straight track?
Well, we now have 2 cars in our garage. We've guy we've been driving for. He is letting me keep his car now, so we got trying to get his car ready for tomorrow. Hopefully the rain will hold off. But just gotta give a huge shout out to Loose Lug Nuts, Overtop Paints and Designs. Just like always, John Hedrick makes the best paint schemes I've ever had. That's why it's on every single car I drive. You guys in the booth, Lugnut TV is a really awesome thing, and it has really taken off. And gotta give you guys, Brian Tribble and Bob Wells, a lot of credit. You guys take away from your racing to broadcast a race. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, and a lot of dedication. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. But other than that, Southeast Motorsports, and that's about it.
Well, all right. Well, best of luck in the drag racing tomorrow night. That's Mitchell Reeves bringing it home second.
Thank you, Mitchell.
We're gonna
Southeast out.
get our race winner up here, Jason Covington. Jason not with us for the last couple of weeks, but makes a statement tonight when he returns to Loose Lug Nut Racing by bringing that number 10 home in Victory Lane. Jason Covington, how you doing?
Wonderful.
Well, I bet nothing like a victory to put a smile on the face. Tell us about the race tonight.
Well, pretty interesting if you ask me. I mean, get took out by somebody under caution on lap 70, back and win it. So
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys coming back from adversity and fighting a lot of challenges tonight. Looks like a lot of the guys were fighting loose aim condition, resulting in a lot of spins tonight and quite a few cautions. We had quite a few lead changes as well.
yeah, the card. I mean, it was tight 1 minute, then you go in to turn the exact same way, then it's loose the next time. I mean, it was hard to just determine what was going to happen with it.
Hey, Jason, it's Brian Tribble up here. We saw you leading the race for a while, and then you actually spun getting into one. I think it's kind of describing what we were just talking about. Tell us about the closing laps. Did you have any trepidation that maybe that was going to happen again?
Yeah, I was worried about that at least right before that last caution come out, because the car was just getting super loose going into turn 1. But that last caution, it really helped me get out there and get some fresh tires.
Yeah, well, you did a whale of a job. That was fun to watch, and we were pulling for you. I know we're not supposed to pull for anyone, but I was pulling for you up here. Just think about the loose lug nuts of old. That was really cool to see that 10 car up there battling and bringing home the checkered flag. So congratulations, Jason.
It was definitely a hard-fought battle.
And warm welcome back, Jason. Good to have you back, and congrats once again on the win tonight. Well done. And Brian, that's the show for tonight. Saw a lot of great racing, a lot of lead changes. Saw a lot of guys fighting through adversity, and at the end of it, Jason did a whale of a job in that number 10 machine, bringing home the win tomorrow night. Loose Lug Nuts are back on dirt at Eldora. Street stocks at 7 p.m. and then at 8 and 9 we have those pesky late models kicking them sideways. Should be a pretty cool time.
I'm looking forward to it, Bob. You will find me in the cockpit getting sideways.
Yes, as opposed to in the booth getting sideways.
Whoa!
Brian Tribble, recent winner, of course, at Eldora in the late models. Let's see if he can back it up, but everybody has enough fuel to run the whole race.
All right, Bob, let's lead us out of here. We're looking forward to tomorrow night's race, but this is definitely a good one for the Loose Lug Nuts Friday Night Bump and Run series. This series is running strong. We're recruiting drivers. We want guys to show up every day of the week when we're out here, and especially on these Friday nights, because this is a special night, and I think these races look good, especially on the TV. So thank you to all the drivers who participated tonight. Thanks, Bob Wells. Bringing it home in the booth, appreciate it, and I think it's for Bob and I. We're going to call this one a good race. So good night, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Excuse me. What's new in cat food?
today's your lucky day. We just got in these new Puss in Boots flavor packs. The latest thing in dry cat food. Flavor packs come 8 to a box, and every pack's a measured meal. So every time you eat, you get everything you need, all your vitamins. It's a complete diet in just the right amount.
Very convenient. But why do they call them flavor packs?
Each meal is sealed. They taste great because the flavor can't escape. Here.
You know, that's great. I'll take it. A tasty, dry cat food. That's what I've been looking for.
Boy, every cat comes in here switching to flavor packs. Well, after all, who knows more about cats than Puss in Boots?